Welcome back, everybody, to Ooh, I Like That. I'm Connor Troxclair.
And I'm John Martinez.
We're both animators here in Duke and Duck, and we're just going to hang out and swap a couple of clips that we've been liking these days. All right, so John, what did you bring in today for Ooh, I Like That?
So have you heard of the new HBO hit series The Last of Us based off the game?
I have.
Yeah, have you watched it?
No, I have not.
Well, just like with any TV show that has come out in the past 4 years, they have a title sequence that's kind of like a 3D camera moving across the 3D landscape. But you know, since this one is hip and new, I thought we could like go into this and check it out together. So this is coming from more of a game fan perspective, but the first thing that I noticed is the soundtrack, which is loyal to the game, but that also kind of sets a tone. From the first scene, like the first second, there's not too much going on, because it's just like kind of more like dark, not too much, but the first thing you hear is the acoustic guitar. I feel like that really sets the ambiance to what you're about to see, and I think that plays a good job throughout the whole animation.
So one thing I do like about this is it does have a bit of again, a little bit of that storytelling that's going on. So you've got all of the big beats that you need to know. This sort of mutant fungus thing. You've got the sort of zombie apocalypse aspect that's happening. They're playing with some pretty fun visuals. The light map that's happening here at 27. It's a clever idea. And then just kind of transitioning into each of those and finding sort of a specific visual to hit on in order to get all the beats of our story going into it. And then I think one of the things that I probably like the most in terms of like the setups of these is that probably that last shot or second to last shot before we get to the title. It's kind of that time-lapse sort of growth of the fungus, and so you're getting that just kind of like, it has a little bit of a jitter to it. You're kind of getting the sense of time passing. I don't know how exactly long the fungus takes to grow, but you do kind of just get this sort of impending sense of dread that kind of comes up from that. There's a sense that there's this slow moving destruction that's all building over the course of this, especially in that sort of last time-lapse scene. So,
and I really like that last scene too, because before we get into the shot of the two fungus growing, it kind of spirals through the spiral of fungus that kind of looks like barbed wire almost. And then as you're going through that like barbed wire looking fungus, you're looking at that last scene through that window almost. And I feel like that really tells like another cool story of the tension and the danger and what this story is gonna be like, how threatening the journey is gonna be. So I really do like the storytelling in this specific kind of title sequence. So Connor, you also have something to share. Well, what'd you bring to the table today?
Yeah, so I brought, this one is not new. This is a 2018 TED Ed piece, and it's by a pair of animators, and their names are Reza Riahi and Jeremy Ballet. And has really nailed that kind of balance of both being really great animation, lots of character, a lot of like high quality, but still in a method, in a style that is easily achieved.
That's always a fun challenge, but always like a stressful challenge. Try and make the best work you can out of a smaller budget. It can be a little stressful for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to see this.
In the ocean's depths, two titans wage battle, the sperm whale and the colossal squid. Sperm whales use echolocation to
So one of
hunt
the
these
things
squid
already
for
that I'm
food.
loving about this
But even
video
against this
is
gigantic animal,
the
squid can
really,
put up
really
an impressive
minimal
fight.
backgrounds for
Scientists
this.
know this because
The
on the bodies of washed up
very
whales,
simple
they
sort of
frequently
line
find huge,
layouts. You're not
round
having to worry
suction
too much
scars
about color. It works
emblazoned
for
there by
Ted since
large,
that's kind of
grasping tentacles.
their thing. I
Ranging
think
in
that kind
size
of,
from this giant's
I don't know, it almost
impressive
feels like it's an
14
overhead
meters
slide
to the
projector
2.5
almost, like you got
centimeters of the
cells on
southern
a
pygmy squid.
on an old
These creatures fall
schoolroom,
into the
school
group of animals
classroom.
known as cephalopods.
I love
There are
the
about 500
personality they
squid
give the
species
character, like the
worldwide,
squid when
and
he
they
squints
live
his
in all
eyebrows,
the world's
like
oceans,
angry.
making them a reliable food source for whales, dolphins, sharks, seabirds, fish, and even
This
other
is
squid.
some great, very
Indeed,
smart.
squid themselves
You only
are
have like
fearsome
a
ocean
couple of little
predators,
elements
but their
here
most
that are actually
extraordinary
moving. Most of the body is just
adaptations are
very
those that
funny
have
drawing,
evolved
very,
to help
very
them thwart their
amusing and
predators.
attractive drawing.
Squid,
Yeah,
which
the
can be
personality
found
given to all the
in
characters really is a
estuarine,
strong
deep
point,
sea,
I
and
think, for
open
the
water
design.
habitats.
For me,
often
it's one of
swim
those
together in
examples
shoals.
of how
Being out in the open
having,
without anywhere to
having
hide
characters,
makes
especially in
them
a
So as a first
a
line of
longer
defense,
piece
they
like
rely
this
on
can always seem
large,
really scary.
well-developed eyes. In the colossal
And
squid,
it's just
these
kind of
are the
like thinking
size
about
of
like how are we going to
pinpoints,
use it,
the
how much
largest
reuse can we
known
use.
eyes
We
in
have a
the
squid animation
When it's
that is
dark
being
or the
used
water is
repeatedly
murky,
throughout this
squid
video.
rely on a secondary
And when we
sensory
do
system
have these
made from
human
thousands of
characters,
tiny
their designs are
nerve
really
cells that are only
stylized. They're
about
very
12
simple.
microns long and
Like we were
run
kind of
on their
talking about
heads and
earlier,
arms.
the amount of
Each of these
personality
nerve
that goes
cells is
into
attached
just
to axons
the
in the nervous system.
pose
Swimming
and
animals
the
create a wake,
the design
so when the
itself
hairs on the squid's
allows you
body
to take a lot of
detect its
shortcuts
motion,
and really
they send a
simplify
signal
like
to
what
the
pieces
brain,
you
which
are
helps it determine the
having to
direction of the
animate,
water's
and then
flow.
you're able to
This way,
it has a very
the squid
comic
can sense an
sensibility
oncoming predator in
to
even
it,
the
and so
dimmest
that
waters.
definitely helps
Aware of the threat,
to
a squid can
have a
then
full
mask itself
character roster for a long
Squid
video,
skin
but still be
contains
able to
thousands
produce
of
it in
tiny
a
organs
a
called
shorter amount of time. And I think the full production time for this one,
brown,
and I
red,
could
or
definitely
yellow
be mistaken on
pigments,
this, but I
and
think I had
veins
seen that it
and
was
muscle.
about 2 months of work.
Reflecting cells beneath the chromatophores mirror the squid's surroundings, enabling it to blend in.
The element
So when
of
the
this, what
muscles
I'm really
contract,
liking a
the
lot
color
too,
of the pigment
is
exposed,
the
whereas when the muscles relax, the colors
kind of
are
a little bit of mix of design
Each
you're
of these
getting. So
chromatophores
especially in like
is
these
under
environments,
individual
you get a lot of
control
that
of the squid's
texture.
nervous system.
I
So while
love
some
the
expand,
size
others
discrepancy between the characters on the
That
boat and
enables
the boat
counter
itself.
shading, where the underside
But
of
you
the
have
squid
these,
is lighter than the
you know,
top to eliminate
kind of
the
old
silhouette
school
that the
style,
predator
like
might
old
spy from
scientific
below.
diagrams.
Some predators,
But the
however,
character,
like
especially the
whales
squid
and
itself,
dolphins,
like it's a
let
very
know this
clean
route by
design.
using
The
sound waves to detect a
you're just
squid's
using a very
camouflaged
simple.
form. Not to be
I almost, I would
the
just.
squid
My guess
still has
is
two
it's a
tricks
bit of
up
an
its
After
sleeve.
Effects,
The first involves ink,
simple
produced inside its
squiggle,
ink is made
more or
mostly
less.
of
You're getting a really
fungus and
clean
melanin, which produces
puppet
its
rig
dark
that's going on
color.
in here
When
for
squid
these
eject
shots,
they
and then
either use it
parenting
to
out
make a
with
large
the
smoke screen that
the
completely
body.
blocks the predator's view,
But
or
mixed in with all of
that
this,
roughly mimics the
rest of the
size and
world,
shape of the squid.
it fits, it works.
This
It doesn't have to
creates a
be,
phantom form called a
super
pseudo
textured all the way
that
through.
tricks the
It balances
predator
out really
into thinking
nicely.
It's the real squid. As a final touch, squid rely on jet propulsion to rapidly shoot away from their hunters, reaching speeds of up to 25 miles per hour and moving meters away in mere seconds. This makes them Earth's fastest invertebrates. Some squid species have also developed unique adaptive behaviors. The deep-sea vampire squid, when startled, uses its webbed arms to make a cape it hides behind. The tiny bobtail, on the other hand, tosses sand over its body as it burrows away from prying eyes. The Pacific flying squid uses jet propulsion for another purpose, to launch itself right out of the water. Squids' inventive adaptations have allowed them to proliferate for over 500 million years. Even now, we're still uncovering new species. And as we do, we're bound to discover even more about how these stealthy cephalopods have mastered survival in the deep and unforgiving sea. Descend into the deepest reaches of the ocean with this playlist.
That's great. Yeah, so at 4:36, I thought that was really clever when you can see the meteor coming down, and you know this is when the dinosaurs become extinct, but instead of like spending all that time, and I'm sure this is like a animation, you know, economy budgeting idea, but instead of showing like a big explosion, they decide to pan down and just show pretty simple animation of just the bones like slowly floating down through the water as the squid comes by. I thought that was really clever. A clever way of showing like what they want to show without having to create something very challenging.
Yeah, so it works for the joke of it. It's a lot funnier cutting right before this and sinking into the effects. But I guess the little bugs that are at the corner here might be my favorite bits of this whole scene, is these two sauropods that are just watching these two bugs fight. It is one that is, I think, and that's like part of having all of these character bits too, is you get a lot of rewatch value in this video, which I think especially for a longer video, that's a pretty valuable aspect to it. And so that's it's why you have a really fun, surprising design. You can find these like little details that are just always being tucked away, and the whole video itself is so large that you can't keep track of those over the course of it. So when you do return to them, you do find all of these bits. I think every time we cut to the scientists, the scientist characters, their designs are fantastic. I love the personality you're getting with them. The mustachioed scientist who twirls his mustache on every close-up is especially great. I think we're watching his twirl going at 35 on the intro of the three of them. John, thank you so much for bringing The Last of Us to the table today. It was fun breaking it down.
Of course, and thank you so much for bringing that beautiful squid into my life. What a great experience.
Just a nice big tentacly hug from 8 arms.
Oh, that cute little guy. I'm sure he'd give a great hug. We'll catch you next week on the next episode of Ooh, I Like That. I hope you have a great week, Connor.
Thanks, John. I hope you do too.